Good morning again. I had just closed that trade because I wasn't sure what was happening here 10 minutes before the FOMC. But now that there's a little impulsive move starting 10 minutes before, then I'm going to, I went ahead and just took a long trade because I think my ABC configuration here on this correction is probably what was going on. So I went ahead and went long. We're going to ride out the FOMC. I'm kind of thinking that it'll be a little bit muted because of Chairman Powell's speech yesterday that did this to the market. This is the 12-minute chart. So I'm thinking that it'll be a little more muted than usual. Maybe there won't be quite as much volatility, but in order to be sure, I still need to set my stop down here low. So it's got to be a little bit wider stop, but that's what you get when you're trading in a time when there's increased volatility, and there will be for the next hour until the news settles down and traders settle down after the FOMC minutes are released. So I'm going to set my stop loss down here at about 24. Should put me close to the bottom of where I think the C wave is. So that's going to let this thing bounce 19 points. It's more than I usually like to give a trade, but it's what's necessary because of the report coming out. So not to bore you with waiting 10 minutes, we'll watch what happens, and I'll pause this and come back right after it opens up. All right, traders, I took the video off pause because we got 1 minute before 11 o'clock my time. And so I just kind of wanted to give you an idea. Some of you may not get a chance to see this real time. I want to show you what happens in the market, or what could happen during a release of a big economic report. Again, I don't know how much effect this is going to have because of Powell's speech yesterday and what it did with the market yesterday, but you're going to see some volatility here, and the only way to test whether my end of correction is actually an end of correction is to put my stop down here, which is let's get this, 18 points, which is more than I usually trade for a stop loss. And this is not a video, everyone, on trading the news, because I don't usually do that. But when I see what I think is the end of a correction, even if there is news coming up, sometimes I'll do it. And it may bite me, and it may not. But if it comes back down, takes my stop loss out, then it could still head up. It probably will head up over time, but that's as much as I'm willing to risk right now. So here we go with the release, and at least it'll give you a chance for a minute or two to tend to see what happens. And of course, the shorter the time frame, the more volatility you're going to see because the range is bigger. So it's a 12-minute. Here's the 1 hour. Here's the 4 hour. And let's see if yesterday's speech here took out a lot of the volatility or it didn't. And sometimes it takes a bit for the release to come out, and then you're going to see this probably go pretty crazy. So let's see what it does. And really, a lot of times, if I don't know what's happening and it's a big release like this, I will just wait 15 to 30 minutes to even look at the market and just see how it's played out. So, it's just going to depend. But we'll see if this here was the end of the correction right here on the 1 hour chart, ABC, and if this is actually what happened. Here's my 6 hour or a 4 hour chart over here. Still working on the fact that this is probably let's go to 6 hour. This is probably a wave 2 or a wave 3 heading up. We had the from the top of the market, the ABC. If you look on the daily chart, ABC is what I think is going on. What that appears to look like. And we have wave 1, wave 2 heading up to 3. Let's go back to 6 hour here. So, I'll just set that aside, the 6 hour chart, just so I can kind of see the long-term view of what it's doing. So I don't want to make this video too long. Just wanted to give you guys an idea of what volatility looks like. And I could tell you that during non-farm payroll days and a lot of the FOMC releases, this would be going much crazier than it is. This movement is just not that big. And all I can assume is it's because of Powell's speech yesterday and the fact that the market took it for good news. And so they're probably just going to continue to take good news or take whatever the meeting minutes say to continue what Powell said. So we'll see. So volatility, we'll see what it does here. I'll keep this running for maybe another minute or two. It makes the video kind of long And my idea on my videos is to kind of show you updates. And of course, when I post this on tomorrow afternoon or Saturday and you see it later, you'll be able to go back and look on a 10 or 12 or 15-minute chart and see exactly what the market did. But I'll let it run for a little bit more here. Let's give it maybe another couple minutes, and we'll see what it does. I'll just shut up and we'll watch it bounce. And again, everyone, I just wanted to reiterate, I don't try to tell people to trade news releases. A lot of guys like to do that. The volatility is usually too much for me. It's just this was a certain case where I think the correction was in, and so that's why I went ahead and went long, and I thought it would be muted because of yesterday's. And it's certainly not bouncing like it does, like it typically does on a release, which is a good thing. I don't care for the volatility. I'd rather just be right in my direction. So we'll let this go for maybe another few minutes, and still after I shut the video off, I will obviously give you an update here at the end of the day, whether it's still going or whether I got stopped out. And as I've said before in my previous video, sometimes an economic report will come out and the pattern of the market, the shape of the market is at a point where it was at the end of a trend, and so a correction was about to start. And so that economic report got the correction started. Sometimes it's in the middle of a move and it just continues to move, and sometimes it's at the end of a correction at a perfect spot, and it allows the market to just take off from there, from the end of that correction. And this is a little bit of a, my view is this is a little bit of a variation on that, where the correction occurred early this morning, and then we're seeing that I'm thinking it's taken off from this correction here. It's interesting when you listen to technical traders and everybody who likes to try to figure out the fundamentals, they'd be sitting here right now trying to say, well, the buyers and the sellers are fighting it out, the market's indecisive, it's whatever. And I don't get into those arguments or those speculations about why the market does something. I just know the way it acts, and you just trade with the way it acts and the shape of the market and the way price action moves. All right, well, I'm going to turn the video off, and we'll let this run, and whether I get stopped out or it takes off and we get some more points for this week, I will let you know. Everyone have a good morning. Or actually, since this is going to be seen later, enjoy. If you want to come back and see where it went, again, you can follow all my trades on Collective 2. The link's in the description, and you can see exactly where they went after we talked. So I try to timestamp these enough for you guys so you know exactly where we're at. Take care. Hello, everyone, all you traders, ladies and gentlemen. It's been about 2 hours after I entered that trade after the FOMC report, and I remember I had gone long somewhere right up in here when I saw the impulsive continuing, and so I just got stopped out for -5 points, and you can check those numbers out on Collective 2 if you get a chance. But I got stopped out at -5, and I had only given it that much room because I thought if it came back into here, then what I'm probably seeing is the correction on this 4-hour, 6-hour chart. In fact, let me take a look at the 3. Yeah, that even looks more like it. So what I think we have here is the first trend of the longer term chart, which would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now it's going to correct for a while. And so I'm going to watch this on the, let's see, the 6-hour. Yeah. I'm thinking that it came back this much into this correction because this is actually a 3, 4, 5 on this longer time frame. If I'm right, and it wasn't just a a larger correction, because it came back into here. I'm thinking that it's going to correct for a while. But it might not. It might take off again. If it does, I'll wait and look for another correction on down the line. So just wanted to update you on that trade after the FOMC. It's been a couple hours, hour and 5 minutes since then, and I took a loss of 5 points. And we'll keep an eye on the market and go from there.